sewer system. But 4,500 years ago, the Indus Valley already solved this problem. Every house in that city had its own toilet with a connection to an underground sewer. We're used to thinking progress only moves forward, from simple to complex, from caves to skyscrapers. But dig into the earth at a few spots on the planet, and this convenient idea crumbles to dust. Ancient times had cities that, in terms of engineering and urban planning, were not inferior to, and in some ways even surpassed, modern megacities. 6 of them left behind mysteries that science still has no definitive answers for. Mohenjo-Daro stood on the banks of the Indus River in present-day Pakistan, reaching its peak around 2,300 years before Christ. Archaeologists estimate it housed up to 80,000 people at its height. For the Bronze Age, this was comparable to a major European city during the Renaissance. Streets here ran strictly parallel and perpendicular to each other, with central avenues stretching 10 meters wide. Europe would not see such a regular layout for another 1,500 years. In ancient Greece, beneath every street, covered brick channels carried away wastewater. This system performed as well as Rome's, though it emerged 2 millennia earlier. Every dwelling connected to the shared sewage network via specialized ceramic pipes, with inspection and cleaning wells at intersections. This is a level of municipal engineering many cities on Earth wouldn't reach until the 19th century. Bricks in Mohenjo-Daro were a standard size throughout the city, with a ratio of 1 to 2 to 4. Such unification suggests a unified system of weights and measures, and therefore centralized authority and a bureaucratic apparatus. Do you think your city's sewage system works better than it did 4,000 years ago on the banks of the Indus? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to compare. The strangest structure in Mohenjo-Daro lies at its heart. This is the so-called Great Bath, built from fired brick and sealed with natural bitumen for complete waterproofing. It measures 12 meters long, 7 meters wide, and nearly 2.5 meters deep. Historians believe it was a ritual bathing facility, but the bath had a fresh water supply system and a drainage channel. If the goal was merely spiritual purity, why build a water system on par with a modern swimming complex? The greatest mystery of Mohenjo-Daro lies not in its technology, but in its demise. The city vanished around 1,300 years before our era, and no one knows precisely why. The official theory points to the Indus River changing course and an ecological disaster. But some researchers highlight peculiar details. Skeletons have been found in the city streets, lying as if death caught them instantly, right in the midst of daily life. Bricks in some areas are fused together as if subjected to extreme temperatures. In 1979, British researcher David Davenport proposed a hypothesis that the traces of destruction resemble the aftermath of a powerful explosion. Academic science rejects this theory, attributing the melting to ordinary fires. But it still cannot explain why the writing of Mohenjo-Daro, unlike Sumerian cuneiform, has never been deciphered. Over 400 symbols, thousands of tablets, and not a single key to their reading. This civilization left us its buildings, its pipes, its standard weights, but took its voice with it. If you enjoy such investigations and want to delve into mysteries that baffle professional historians, subscribe to the channel. Now, let us travel thousands of kilometers west, to where the sands of Iraq conceal the ruins of a city once called the center of the world. Babylon, under King Nebuchadnezzar II, became the first city in history to approach a population of 200,000. Nebuchadnezzar ruled from 605 to 562 BCE, transforming the city into a wonder of the world. It was encircled by a double wall of fired brick, with a combined thickness of up to 30 meters. Herodotus wrote that 2 chariots could pass each other on top of these walls. For a long time, historians considered this an exaggeration, until archaeologists in the early 20th century confirmed the scale of the fortifications. The famous Ishtar Gate, adorned with blue glazed tiles featuring reliefs of bulls and dragons, has been partially reconstructed and is now housed in Berlin's Pergamon Museum. But the true technological shock lay beneath the surface. When Robert Koldewey's expedition excavated the foundation of the main palace, they uncovered a network of fired clay pipes laid with astonishing precision. These pipes were joined by a watertight seal of natural bitumen, allowing water to flow under pressure without leaking into the soil. This was a fully functional water supply system, operating thousands of years before the Romans became famous for their aqueducts. Along these channels, archaeologists found remnants of mechanisms with gears made of hard wood and bronze. According to the official account, such complex gears only emerged in ancient Greece, but these Babylonian discoveries push that date back by centuries. A remarkable discovery beneath the city was an automated irrigation system. Beneath Babylon, mechanisms with cork floats and stone counterweights were found, regulating water flow to fields without human intervention. Automated agriculture in the 6th century before Christ sounds like science fiction. Yet ceramic components of these devices reside in museum collections. The most debated find relates to the so-called Baghdad Battery. In 1936, near Baghdad, a clay vessel was unearthed containing a copper tube and an iron rod. Archaeologist Wilhelm König proposed this device could have been used for electroplating jewelry with gold. Scholars still debate this theory today. But if it's true, Babylonians understood electricity centuries before Volta. The Old Testament mentions Babylon dozens of times, and the image of the Tower of Babel became a symbol of human pride. But the real ziggurat, at Eminenki, which likely inspired the biblical legend, was a tangible structure, standing nearly 90 meters tall. Alexander the Great, who conquered Babylon in 331 BCE, was so impressed he made it his capital. It was here, at just 32 years old, that he died, his grand ambitions unfulfilled. Babylon didn't fall to invading armies, but to competition. New capitals rose nearby, drawing away its people, and the great city crumbled to dust. From Mesopotamia, we journey to Mexico, to a valley where a city stands, its true name lost to time. Teotihuacan was named by the Aztecs, who discovered its ruins centuries after its demise, and this name translates to the place where gods are born. By the year 400 of our era, it was home to around 100,000 people. This made it comparable to Rome at its peak, one of the largest cities in the world. The city's central axis, which the Spanish later called the Avenue of the Dead, stretched for 5 kilometers, 40 meters wide. Along it stand the 2 main pyramids, the Sun and the Moon, and dozens of smaller temples. The Pyramid of the Sun weighs approximately 3 million tons, its corners precisely aligned with the cardinal directions. The southwest corner of the Sun Pyramid and the northeast corner of the Moon Pyramid align with the setting sun on the solstices. To achieve such accuracy, builders must have possessed significant astronomical knowledge. We don't typically associate this level of science with civilizations that lacked the wheel. But the greatest mystery of Teotihuacan lies hidden within its walls. In the ceilings of one temple, now called the Mica Temple, thick layers of Muscovite mica were discovered, laid between rows of stonework. Mica is a powerful thermal and electrical insulator, used today in electronics, nuclear power, and space exploration. There are no mica deposits in central Mexico. Early estimates suggested the material was brought from Brazil, a journey of 5,000 kilometers. Now, some scientists favor the theory that the mica may have come from the state of Oaxaca. But even then, the distance is hundreds of kilometers, over mountains and through jungles, without draft animals. Why would the builders of this ancient city, lacking draft animals, haul across the continent a material unusable as decoration or a building element? The mica was carefully cut and laid beneath the outer layer of the Pyramid of the Sun. It was deliberately hidden, serving a function rather than mere decoration. One theory suggests the mica shielded against electromagnetic radiation, or was part of an energy system unknown to us. Academic science has yet to offer a convincing explanation. The Mica temple has been closed to visitors in recent years, and even its nameplate has vanished. The city was abandoned around the year 750, its demise remaining a subject of debate. Recently, Spanish researchers proposed that a series of powerful earthquakes were to blame, given the city's location in a seismically active zone. When Europeans discovered Teotihuacan, it was completely buried, as if deliberately hidden. Now, let us journey to the shores of the Mediterranean, to a city conceived as the world's capital, and which became just that for centuries. Alexandria was founded by Alexander the Great in 332 BCE. Within a century, it grew into the largest city of the Mediterranean, with a population of around 500,000. The city was designed by architect Dinocrates of Rhodes, following a unified plan, featuring a grid of rectangular streets and a grand avenue 30 meters wide. This was history's first metropolis, built not haphazardly, but from a meticulously planned design, much like Brasilia or Canberra in the 20th century. The Library of Alexandria held, by various estimates, between 40,000 and 700,000 scrolls. Its loss is considered one of history's greatest intellectual catastrophes. Euclid, Eratosthenes, and Archimedes worked here. Here, the first map of the night sky was compiled, and Earth's circumference was first calculated with less than 2% error. But Alexandria's technological marvel was its lighthouse. The Pharos lighthouse, built under Ptolemy II around 280 years before Christ, reached 120 meters. It stood for 15 centuries. Its light, amplified by bronze mirrors, visible 50 kilometers from shore. How Alexandrian engineers achieved such illumination with oil lamps and polished bronze remains debated. Modern attempts to replicate the mirror system yield far more modest results. Beneath the Mediterranean waters, near Alexandria, lies a submerged royal district. In 1996, underwater archaeologist Frank Gaudio discovered granite columns and statues on the seabed. Among the flooded quarters, fragments of Ptolemaic palaces were found, and the presumed site of Cleopatra's demise. Hero of Alexandria, in the 1st century AD, described dozens of mechanical devices, including the first steam turbine, the Iolipoli. Had this toy been developed for industrial use, the Industrial Revolution might have occurred 18 centuries earlier. But slave labor was cheaper than any machine, and engineers simply lacked the incentive to automate production. From Egypt, we move to the heart of another empire, to a city that, even after 2,000 years, remains the benchmark for all Western civilization. Rome, by the early 2nd century AD, under Emperor Trajan, housed an estimated 500,000 to 1 million inhabitants. No city in the world would reach such a scale until the 19th century, when London finally surpassed this mark. Roman aqueducts supplied the city with about 1 million cubic meters of water daily, through 11 channels over 400 kilometers long. Romans used only gravity and precise gradient calculations, with elevation drops sometimes just 30 centimeters per kilometer. The concrete Romans used proved stronger than modern concrete. Scientists at MIT found Roman concrete actually strengthens over time. Its secret is the reaction of seawater with volcanic ash, making it stronger each century. The Pantheon's dome, built around 125, has a 43-meter diameter. It remains the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome, a record unbroken for nearly 2 millennia. The Cloaca Maxima, Rome's main sewer, still functions today. Stormwater flows through the same stone arches built by the Etruscans in the 6th century before Christ. This is an engineering marvel, operational for 2,500 years without major repairs. How many years would your city's sewer system last if maintenance stopped? Try to imagine. Multi-story apartment buildings, insulae, reached 7 stories. Renting in Rome's center cost more than in modern Manhattan, relative to average wages. Rome pioneered urban infrastructure concepts we still use today. paved roads, postal services, fire brigades, police, and public restrooms. But the most chilling detail of Rome's legacy is that after the empire fell, Europe needed 1,000 years. 1,000 years to return to the same level of urban life enjoyed under Trajan. An entire continent forgot, for a millennium, what its ancestors knew how to do. This makes one ponder how fragile the progress we deem irreversible truly is. The final city on our journey lies in the Cambodian jungle, its scale astonishing, even against everything we've discussed. Angkor, capital of the Khmer Empire, at its 12th and 13th century peak, spanned over 3,000 square kilometers. This is larger than modern Moscow within its ring road. Researchers estimate Angkor's population ranged from 700 to 900,000 people. This made it the largest city of the pre-industrial era on the planet. Neither Rome, nor Constantinople, nor Baghdad could compare. In 2007, an international team of scientists, using satellite imagery and laser scanning, confirmed this status. The heart of Angkor, the Temple of Angkor Wat, is surrounded by a moat 190 meters wide. To dig it, 1.5 million cubic meters of sand were excavated and moved. The construction of the temple itself used as much stone as the Pyramid of Khafre in Egypt. The walls of all 3 tiers are covered with bas-reliefs, totaling an area of about 2,000 square meters. They depict over 2,000 figures of celestial dancers, each with its own face and pose. The stonework was done without mortar, the blocks polished and fitted so precisely that the seams between them are virtually invisible. This is the same technology used by the Incas at Machu Picchu, but on another continent and in a different era. Angkor's greatest engineering feat was not its temple architecture, but its water management system. The Khmers built colossal artificial reservoirs, known as barays, the largest of which measured 8 kilometers by 2 kilometers. A network of canals and dams regulated water levels across the entire city, allowing for 3 rice harvests per year instead of 1. It was this system that fed nearly 1 million people in tropical conditions, where the rainy season alternates with drought. When Henri Mouhot rediscovered Angkor in 1861, he could not believe that such a city had been built by the Khmers. He suggested the Romans or Alexander the Great, an era revealing more about us than Angkor's builders. The city fell not to invaders, though wars with neighboring Siam weakened the empire. Researchers from Sydney University showed that a prolonged drought in the 14th century was followed by catastrophic flooding. This destroyed the canal and reservoir system that fed the city. Without water, the rice fields died, and with them, Angkor perished. The people lost faith in their ruler's supernatural power. For a true king, they believed, would never allow such a disaster. The people departed, the jungle reclaimed the stones, and for 4 centuries, the world's largest city existed only in oral legends. Recent laser scanning reveals hundreds of buildings hidden beneath layers of earth and roots, structures unknown just a decade ago. 6 cities across 5 continents, separated by thousands of kilometers and thousands of years. Each possessed knowledge we have only recently rediscovered or have yet to uncover. Mohenjo-Daro planned its urban environment to standards that would emerge in Europe 2 millennia later. Babylon automated its agriculture 25 centuries before the first factories. Teotihuacan used materials whose purpose we cannot explain even now. Alexandria invented the steam turbine, but saw no use for it. Rome built concrete that strengthens with age, surpassing our own. Angkor created a city the size of a modern capital, only to lose it to a single drought. Each of these examples shatters the linear path of progress, revealing history moves in cycles. Entire eras of knowledge can vanish within a single generation. We are not the first to build great cities, and if descendants ever unearth our ruins, they will ask the same question about us. How could they know so much, yet lose it all?